Welcome to Get Healthy, Sexy, Happy. I am Norwegian German and I am dating an Irishman, and we are usually head to toe covered in sunscreen, thinking that we're doing an amazing job. Apparently, according to Dr.Steph from Intuitive Women's Wellness, I've been picking all the wrong sunscreens. So let's help you not make my mistake. Now, Dr. Steph, I have a series of, we went through my
sunscreen cabinet.
And I'm lazy, so I like the spray-on ones. What is wrong with these? And what should I be avoiding? What should I be looking for? And what was that crazy fact around melanoma?
Yeah, so the crazy fact around melanoma is that CDC, which is the Centers for Disease Control, have recently published various studies that show that melanoma rates have actually tripled since 1975. Which, given the fact that sunscreen campaign has been kind of the most active since the 1970s, is quite shocking. So what is it that's creating all this increase in melanoma? Melanoma, as we know, is the most deadly form of skin cancer. And in fact, the majority of cases are found in parts of the body that are never exposed to the sun, and more in indoor workers than in outdoor people who are outdoors more often. So what's the deal? The sunscreens that we use have a lot of different chemicals in them. And the chemicals are meant to block UVA and UVB rays.
Which is good, right?
Yeah, well, supposedly good. The UVA and UVB rays are what we get from the sun that causes us to burn. UVB rays actually cause to burn. UVA rays penetrate the skin layers even deeper and will change the structure of the DNA of your DNA and disrupt the DNA structure, and then make it more likely for cells to run rogue and become cancerous. So these chemical sunscreens were developed to prevent all of that from happening, and in the process, these chemicals do a lot of damage. One of the things, if you look at the back of your sunscreens, you'll see things like avobenzone and oxybenzone. These are known endocrine disruptors.
No on the benzones.
Exactly. So endocrine disruptors are things that will mimic hormones or disrupt your hormonal balance, exactly. So especially estrogen, and for men that means growing the man boobs,
boobies.
For women it means becoming estrogen dominant, which has
every
bit to do with PMS exacerbations and tender boobs and migraines and things like that. So and weight gain or inability to lose weight, that type of stuff. So that's one reason why they're troublesome. But the other reason is that blocking out all of those rays actually keeps vitamin D levels way too low. And in studies, they've actually found that vitamin D is highly cancer protective. There's over 15 different cancers, everything from skin cancer, melanoma, to colon cancer, breast cancer, prostate cancer, that are directly associated with an increased risk when your vitamin D levels are too low. And we get vitamin D from the sun, and when we cover ourselves head to toe with sunscreen like this, then we have no ability to absorb vitamin D.
And it's a super hormone, if you saw the other video. Go vitamin D.
Yeah. So that's one of the reasons why the hypothesis is of why melanoma rates have increased to the extent that they have. So the chemical sunscreens have been shown to reduce rates of squamous cell carcinoma, which is kind of the mid-grade type of skin cancer, which rarely ever causes death, but will obviously create tumors and the need for them to be cut out, and that can be somewhat disfiguring. Also has not been shown to reduce the incidence of basal cell skin cancer, which is kind of the least problematic, but also doesn't get any protection from chemical sunscreens. So in addition to these being just awful chemical yuckiness that you put on your skin,
They're not doing their job.
They're not doing like what you want them to do, which is prevent skin cancer. They do prevent you from burning, which has its own set of problems. But we're really using sunscreen so we can stay healthy.
Weren't you saying that the chemical components also change the DNA structure and give you a potential increase of melanoma?
Yeah, they can. So yes,
and
that's true.
what should I be using? So I know that my CVS, my Walgreens, my Banana Boats, they have the benzones in them. I need to stay away from them.
That's right.
But I'm a little lazy, and I'm a tall person. I'm long. There's a lot of skin to cover. The thought of like shellacking the creams all over me. Does anyone make a spray? And what should I be looking in the ingredients level? What should I be buying? What should you be buying?
Yeah, so you're looking for something that's considered like either a mineral-based or barrier-type sunscreen. These are ones that have titanium oxide or zinc oxide in them as one of the key components.
The 80s white nose.
Mm-hmm. It is, but they've gotten a lot better with technology and made them a bit more kind of particulate. So one brand that I love is Alba Organics. They just recently I came across their spray version. So it's more like a Windex bottle type sprayer as opposed to these pressurized sprays, but it does the job. It sprays on. As opposed to needing to kind of slather it all over the place. So the other thing too to note is that to watch out for another compound that's often used in chemical sunscreens called retinol palmitate, which is a vitamin A type derivative, which definitely has been linked to a lot of that DNA damage that promotes cancer growth.
Which a lot of you ladies will know, because if you do take retin A for your skin to exfoliate and show that beautiful underlayer, you know we can't go in the sun when we're on retin A. So that makes a lot of sense that those are linked.
Right, exactly.
So outside of Alba, any brands come to mind, or should I just Google those later?
I find that if I go to a place like Whole Foods or Pharmaca Integrated Pharmacy, or a place that has kind of more organic lines, you'll find a wide variety of different brands that have what you want. So I think like the Jason brand has some sunscreens that are good. There's one called Badger. It especially makes stuff for kids, California Baby for kids, but you can use it as an adult. All of those have none of the chemical components that you're trying to avoid.
So get a little bit of sun on your sunscreen-free skin to get some vitamin D. Take your vitamin D supplements. Avoid the benzones and the retinol palmitates, and go for barrier sunscreens rather than chemical sunscreens. So we won't get melanoma.
That's right.
Along with, you said basil?
Basal cells, yeah.
So here's to you knowing a little more about what's actually protecting you and what you think is protecting you. Let's get healthy, sexy, happy, non-sunburn, and no cancer.